All right, hey guys. So please tell my audience why you think they might like your short film, The Girl Who Cried Pearls.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if that's for us to say, Michael. You know, it's these are the early days of presenting it to the public, and you know what happens when you've just finished making something, you don't necessarily have a objective idea of what you've made. It's We're actually kind of looking forward to seeing what people have to say to in a way solidify our point of view on it. We hope we made something special. We hope we're proud to at least at least we know we're secure in showing it to people. But
Yeah, I think the least we can say is that if you love stop motion animation and puppetry and that kind of cinema, we've at least got something for you to dig your teeth into.
yeah.
Nice. All right, that's a nice transition to my next
Okay,
question.
well, let us think about this. So,
Sure.
there's a thing going on right now with people having a kind of desire to see things that are not made in computer. I think this this might satisfy those people. It is entirely handmade. You can see it, maybe even if you're lucky, smell it, if that's how your senses work.
Hmm.
Um, it's a big piece of work. There's Our fingerprints are all over it. The stop motion medium allows you to have a kind of tactile control over every frame of the film, more than any normal film could possibly hope for.
All
I
right, but
Hopefully that
sorry.
counts for something.
Oh yes. I totally hear what you're saying and I love it. But to play maybe devil's advocate, why torture yourself? Why go through the laborious process of stop motion?
Oh, I mean, honestly, at this point, it's too late for us to do anything else. And I mean, is it torture? I mean, it's a great question. Why torture yourself? I don't know if there's anybody working in the medium of animation who isn't torturing themselves on some degree. I mean, there's no stop motion in Into the Spider-Verse, but that seemed like the most torturous production process imaginable. I think this is the name of the game here, CG doesn't make it less torturous. It's just a different, it's just you're applying the clamps to different nipples.
And there is a satisfaction in seeing, it's at the end of the day, it's a magic trick. You're giving life to inanimate objects, and if it's done well, you don't even think about that. You imagine that you're watching people living and speaking, reacting. That's how long should it be easy? If it were easy, I think everybody would be a magician.
True. All right, lots of interesting thoughts there. Did you do a lot of research to get the right look for the period detail here?
Oh, sure. I mean, one thing is that we live here, so
Mm.
we're kind of intrinsically familiar with the atmosphere and mysterious romance of Montreal. That's not something we had to research, for example. That's something that's in us. But the idea of going back in time a little bit, well, for sure we did research. For sure we learned a lot about even the neighborhoods we lived in. We brought to life, the streetcar that used to run down Sherbrooke Street 100 years ago. We simplified the shoreline in a way that right now, like, the Notre Dame Cathedral is in those pictures. Right now, if you cross the bridge over to the city, you can't even see it. It's hidden behind high risers and
Yeah.
and giant banks. But simplifying it to a kind of essential romance that the city once had was super nice. In,
Yeah.
in in so many ways, that is how we see it, even though that's not how it looks anymore.
Cool. And what's the moral of this tale?
Oh, that's not for
Come
us to say.
on.
That's a hard. I think we didn't set out to make morality play here.
No,
I
of course
think
not.
if anything, a lot of our work heretofore has been quite surreal and open-ended. And I think with this one of the challenges was to write a story with a very definite beginning, middle, and end, with a kind of emotional arc. with a bit of a puzzle. But I think we were more inspired, let's say, by the short stories of you know, let's say Stephen King, even, like the
Mm,
classic, or like stories you read in high school, like The Rocking Horse Winner. Then we were trying to make any kind of morality play or any kind of conversation about poverty or anything like that. Like I think it's a yarn, it's a campfire yarn. And if you
mhm.
see a moral point of view in it, that's really more of a reflection on them than on our intentions in the story.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not, I guess we could call ourselves moral people, but we don't have an ideology. Or at least we try to resist one intellectually in real time. The world doesn't, I think the world we live in right now suffers from a disinclination towards ambiguity, and the way we receive life around us is terrifically ambiguous. There's no clear moral in the world that I live in for sure. There is material for debate, and I think what we try to do with our work is to create the conditions for interesting discussion, more so than to tell you where it's at.
All right, noted.
Michael, did you see what moral did you see in the film?
Um, like don't be mean to people. Try not to be if you can. It'd
Oh,
be nice
sure.
if you could.
Sure,
Yeah, sure.
that is something we believe in.
But as I said, yeah, I think more again, I think we were more inspired by that kind of Ray Bradbury, those kind of short
Mm,
stories that are full of symbolism and rich in detail and plot, even within the short form.
I love it. Were there fairy tales that inspired this short film?
Of course, like I mean, we grew up on those kind of Hans Christian Andersen like stories, the Matchstick Girl and things like that. But those actually do contain a kind of clear moral. They're I hate it. I don't mean it negatively, but they're simple that way. The little Matchstick Girl suffers some more until she dies, and then there is a reward in heaven.
The
This
Little Mermaid also suffers, and then she dies, and after she turns to foam, there's her soul goes to heaven. So I think
but we can't.
we couldn't end a story that way in
No, it would be
2025.
disingenuous. It wouldn't be honest of us to wrap it up that way.
But we do literally mention it in the movie. At some point, the girl's father says our reward is in the next life. So we're very aware of the
Of the
tradition
tradition,
of
yeah.
18th, 19th century fables. I think we just wanted to have a postmodern twist on it without spoiling anything.
Okay, cool. All right,
Maybe
this is
cynicism
yeah.
isn't the word, but without some kind of rot at the center of the idea, I think we'd be lying.
Okay. All right. My next question is maybe two questions in one. It's 1.5 questions. So, would you make a feature set in this world or expand this short into a feature?
I don't think we would do that, but when you make a fable out of nothing, which is I think what we managed to do here, one that has resonance with some other fables, but is kind of original, I think it would, why not? I think it'd be interesting. I'd love to see someone else interpret this story in the same way that, something like The Little Matchstick Girl, The Little Mermaid, or any fable gets interpreted and reinterpreted. But I think in terms of our involvement in this story, we squeezed as much juice out of it as we were possibly able to.
Okay, noted.
What
How
was
do you
one? What was the point five, by the way? What did I miss? Oh,
well, like either the short is like expanded or just like different characters in the same world or whatever, like an
I suppose
expanded
that could
universe
happen.
for this short film.
yeah.
If that occurs to someone and they're interested in doing that, no problem. I mean, there's a point where once you release a film into the world, it's you got to stop chaperoning your daughter to the high school dance. They're now on their own, and whatever life develops for it, I mean, we encourage, but we would not try to in any way control that.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, we're very open to the idea of humans reinterpreting stories.
Of course.
We think that's amazing. That's how stories work.
I mean, one thing that we like to do, and it was something we were inspired to do by a lecture by John Irving that we heard one time, is to literally borrow characters from other people's stories. We've done that. I don't know if we've done it in this film particularly, but we've done that many times. And if somebody wants to do that, if somebody wants to claim one of the characters and give them another chapter in life, that would be amazing.
Okay, cool. How do you believe you complement each other as creatives?
Well, that's difficult to say. We've been working together for about 30 years, and every decision that we make is a product of discourse, of arguing about things, of bouncing an idea off of each other enough times that by the end we don't actually remember who came up with what. And I think I guess you can call it a synergy or something, or the sum being larger than its parts. And it definitely is that. But I think the success of that process is that I actually don't know who decided what at some point. It's it just seems like it always was, and I think that's a product of eliminating and simplifying an idea until your own fingerprints are gone and something can stand on its own. That's part of the reason that we refer to our work as the work of a Clyde Henry, just so we can avoid
Hmm,
signing these things with our own names, because that also wouldn't quite be honest.
that's pretty neat. How have the NFB been as partners?
Oh, I mean, they've been creative partners with us since Madame Tutli, so we're talking our very first
2000.
film. I think we first met Marcy Page, yeah, probably around the year 2000. So we have made, I think, 4 or 5 projects with them now. We have a great relationship with them. It's changed over the years, from our first film to now, let's say, now we're making films in our 50s with them. They're great. I mean, it's an absolutely incredible institution that will give real budgets to ambitious stop motion short films, and allow us to not just bring in amazing collaborators, but be able to pay them properly. Um, it's incredible. There's nothing like this. There's nothing like this in America, that's for certain, and hardly anything like it there's hardly anything comparable even in Europe to the National Film Board. And so we have a great relationship with the producers we work with, and we've worked with different producers over the years. Yeah, I mean, honestly, nothing but great things to say about them. Who else would? Who else? No one on earth would have funded this movie. So that's really all you need to know.
Yeah, they've been amazingly generous with us. I think for our own part, we managed to over the years convince them that we take this very seriously, that we've never taken money and ran with it. We never pocketed 50% of the budget and made the movie for as little as we can. Usually we at some point a friend of ours called us fools because of the way we work, because they compared us to the Wailers, the Bob Marley's band, which is, and I was like, well, what are you talking about? It's like, well, at some point they got like $40,000 to make an album, and they spent $40,000 to make an album, um, making them, I guess, fools. But we work that same way. We don't ever want to have regrets that we could have done it better. Um, it's for us, it's always been an all or nothing thing. I hope that the film board, I mean, I think that the film board knows that about us, that they can count on us to do our absolute best when they trust us.
I like that you're investing in your legacy and in quality and in the long term. It's the
Sure.
right
Well,
move.
these things are going to exist longer than we will.
Yeah.
At some point they will define you.
Yeah, and not everything is a National Film Board project. Like if we're doing commercials on the side, um, that's a different legacy. So
Those
Yeah.
people that will call you fools, they just don't have your vision. They don't understand. They wouldn't know why someone would do that.
Yeah, no, maybe. I mean, maybe. I think it's also, it takes us forever to make these. So you really, how else, this is the way you're spending your whole life.
Right. I love it. Okay, now are you excited to be at TIFF with this short film?
Yeah, very excited. Quite surprised at how much attention the short films are getting at TIFF this year. I mean, maybe it's because we haven't been there in a long time, but it seems like there's almost been more attention for our film being at TIFF than premiering at Annecy. Yeah, no, quite interested to see what people think of it there.
What was the last time you were at TIFF?
Oh, I
Oh
think
man,
it might have been
Koshmar?
our film Koshmar, which was quite some years ago. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
I actually
Okay.
can't remember.
Okay.
No, the festival life starts to blend,
Right.
but I mean, it's been a really long time. And I think when we were there, the last time we were there, the last couple times, there was a bit of a feeling that short films were second-class citizens to the features, and that most short films there were really there as auditions for careers in feature films. And I think you know, uh, Idris Elba has a short film this year in competition in the shorts. They have this new animation prize. So it seems like there's been a real shift to considering the short form serious.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm all for it. I used to be. I think I was one of those people who were dismissive of shorts. Why would I watch a short? But now, I'm seeing shorts all the time, and I love them. And
No.
heck, you don't always have 2 hours for a film, for a feature film.
No, and like we're kind of from the school of like Edgar Allan Poe talking about the short form in literature. They're not smaller. There's just fewer pages, but the 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 job is different. You still load just as much information and just as much material to consider as you would into a feature or in his case a full novel. Um, it's not a it's not supposed to be simpler. It's just a different format.
Yeah, and with rare exceptions in animation, short form is where you get the auteur work. These are the people working their lives on animation, and with the budgets and time, it's the medium that allows the fewest number of people to work on something. So yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
the things that inspired us to get into this medium in the first place were, like the short films of the brothers Quay, of Jens Svankmajer, things that are a little bit obscure right now, even to our younger contemporaries. But those are the things that moved us the most, more than any. We're not doing this because of a feature film we've ever seen. Certainly not in animation. It was always the short form that gave us a kind of the challenge to try this, because when they're well done and there's no fat on them, they last. They really move you. They give you so much to think about. We Yeah, we've been more inspired by shorts than by the long form all our lives.
Well, guys, it's been very insightful and fun talking to you today. I really appreciate your time. My final question is, what are you going to do after TIFF?
who knows? We have to give this film, we have to, even though this film's success really has nothing to do with us anymore, and in some ways its reception has nothing to do with us. We have an obligation to shepherd this thing through the world for probably another 6 or 7 months. And then after that, new horizons, new stories, new challenges. For sure, the one thing we have in mind is not to repeat what we've already done.
Okay, well, thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you. Can't wait to
Thanks,
see you
Michael.
at TIFF in Ottawa.
All right, bye now.
All the
Bye.
best.